Hey everyone, intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here to talk to you about the last portion of the month of March. I hope everybody is doing really well and taking good care of yourselves. March has definitely been rocking and rolling. There is a lot going on. The momentum is picking up daily. So just make sure that you are finding those quiet moments of reflection throughout your days, each and every single day. That you are dropping in and tuning in to your body's needs. No matter how busy you are, we all are, it is imperative that during these times we take the necessary care of ourselves. And it's important to remember that each day that we are here on this earth, life is a gift, and we need to treat it as such. It's easy to lose sight of that with all of the chaos that goes on outside of us. But it's important to always hang on to those nuggets of goodness that we do have, the blessings that are in our current reality. Okay, so today that I am recording this video, it is Monday, March 13th. And we are in a bit of a messy week. Now, I do put out a weekly energy report that is detailed day by day, and you can receive that by signing up for my free newsletter at lisasalvatore.com. I do send that out every single Sunday, and along with that, you'll be able to be kept updated on group sessions, workshops, and other blog posts that I put out. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you appreciate this content, and sign up for my newsletter if you'd like to receive the weekly energy report. But yes, having said that, this week that we are embarking upon, the 13th, definitely has the potential to feel a little bit foggy and a little bit destabilizing. So just know that if you're feeling like a little bit out of sorts and all over the place, it is not just you, it is the energy right now. Mars, the planet of action and drive and energy and force, is in the last degrees of Gemini, and it is squaring Neptune in Pisces, which is the planet of many things, but illusion, delusion, fantasy. It can mess with our physical energy levels, our emotional energy levels. We can feel a little more paranoid or suspicious, and it may or may not be justified. This is how Mars and Neptune operate when they're in a harsh aspect. Things can just feel very cloudy. Now look at what's going on out in the world right now, okay? This is just one example of how Mars and Neptune can play out. Again, things are just unclear at the moment. So take that for what it's worth. Take that into context as you move throughout this week and throughout the rest of March. There's also a lot of good here, so I want to stress that. March 20th is the start of the Astrological New Year. It is like the cosmic reset button. The sun will move into the sign of Aries at 5:24 p.m. Eastern Time on March 20th. The sun will move into the sign of Aries, and we will experience the Spring Equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere, and Aries season begins. Now, Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac. It starts the astrological new year. So this is representative of the sun's trek through all 12 zodiac signs starting again. This is a renewal type of energy. This is rebirth. And spring is the season of life. It's where everything blooms, everything is reborn, everything comes to life again, including ourselves, our souls. Now, because we are dealing with Aries, Aries is the sign of the self. It's about self-expression. It's about initiating. It's about getting things started. Aries is courageous. It is a cardinal fire sign. So cardinal signs get things started. And Aries, as a cardinal fire sign, Aries starts the season of spring. It brings in the season of spring and the spring equinox. Aries is a masculine yang energy. It's fire. It outputs. Aries acts. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is pure energy and force, for better or worse. Just tell an Aries no, and they will show you why it's going to be yes. The symbol for Aries is the ram, after all. So look at the entrance of Aries season as a time where we start to really and truly reevaluate our relationship to self, which is the most significant relationship that we will ever have, is relationship to self. Aries is all about expressing ourselves authentically. That's in the highest vibration. Now, in the lower vibration, we can express ourselves authentically to the point where we can be brash or abrupt or abrasive. That's the lower vibration of Aries. Let's try to embody the higher vibration of Aries. Now, in honor of Aries season, I also want to pull in the tarot card for Aries, which is the Emperor, number 4. The Emperor is the tarot card for Aries. Now, as a 4, 4s are all about stability and structure and fruition and foundation. So that is what Aries seeks. Aries is a very forward sign, okay? The Emperor displays authority and control. They're in charge of whatever it is that they're doing. The archetype of the Emperor is in charge of whatever it is that they are doing. They are the ruler of their kingdom. They are their own authority. That is Aries. The shadow side to the Emperor, though, is that The Emperor can be a jerk. The Emperor can be controlling, a battle axe, a strong energy, very strong energy, a dictator type. But again, this is about taking control and taking agency over your own life, over your own circumstances, over your own situations, owning your power. That is Aries, that is the Emperor. Now remember, we all have Aries energy somewhere. Even if you don't have any planets in your birth chart that pertain to Aries, you will have Aries somewhere in your birth chart. Aries will rule a house in your birth chart. And that area of your life will show you where it's time to take charge. So again, Aries season is from March 20th until April 20th. Happy birthday to all of our Aries. It is your time to shine. Happy Astrological New Year. It is all of our times to shine. This is the time to go inward and reflect upon, who am I? Me. Aries is all about the identity. This is about who am I? Who am I out in this world? What am I doing? Where am I not showing up or expressing myself authentically for me? That is what you want to look at. Aries is about me. Aries is about the self. And remember, there's a fine line between being too selfish or not being selfish enough. And when we give of ourselves tirelessly, we end up completely depleted. So it is okay to be selfish at times. In fact, it is necessary. So Aries season is a good time to go inward and look at where have you been maybe too selfish, or maybe where you're not being selfish enough. Where are you not taking care of the self enough? And again, happy birthday to all of our Aries souls of the zodiac. Okay, so Aries season, new beginnings, rebirth, the season of spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, new life, renewal. Furthering that sentiment, we have a powerful new moon in Aries the day after Aries season begins. So on March 21st, we've got a new moon at 0 degrees of Aries. The 0 degree is a clean slate, blank slate, fresh start. New moons are new beginnings. It is a time to set intentions, to plant our seeds, literally and metaphorically. It's a time to really get serious about what we want to birth, what we want to bring to life, where we want to see growth. That's what new moons are all about. And a new moon in Aries at 0 degrees, oh my goodness, talk about new beginnings. Talk about getting things started. Talk about taking control. This is the time. Let me go ahead and pull up the chart. So here we see our Aries new moon, March 21st, 2023, 1:23 p.m. Eastern time. You'll see right here, we've got this new moon in Aries. The sun and the moon are conjunct each other. That's when we have our new moon. They're exactly aligned. So we've got the sun at 0 degrees and 49 minutes of Aries and the moon at 0 degrees and 49 minutes of Aries. And that is our new moon. Now this new moon is conjunct Mercury. Mercury also in Aries. That brings in a conjunction. And so there's a really strong mental awareness, a heightened mental awareness. And this brings in fresh communications, very fevered, very authentic, and very fast communications. That's Aries, Mercury in Aries. Sometimes a little bit too fast. And so we want to make sure that we're really thinking things through, because the shadow side to Aries is that it can be too impulsive and too hasty. And I want to mention that because Mars is the planetary ruler of Aries, Mars rules over the sign of Aries, we want to look at what Mars is doing around this new moon. And we've got Mars over here at the 28th degree of Gemini. So Mars is finally getting ready to leave the sign of Gemini and move into the sign of Cancer. So the thing is, Mars at 28 degrees of Gemini is in what we call an out of sign square to this new moon, because the new moon's in Aries. So a square aspect produces tension. It produces friction. It can produce frustration. In fact, it likely will produce frustration, because with all of this Aries energy, we want to go, 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 go. But Mars is squaring off with this new moon. So we want to watch out for being too hasty or too impulsive. Furthering that is that Mars is still in an aspect to Neptune. We see Neptune over here at 25 degrees of Pisces, and Neptune is in an out of sign conjunction 5 degrees away, but still it's an out of sign conjunction to this new moon. And Mars is still squaring Neptune. It's separating, but it's still squaring Neptune. So again, there's still this little bit of this foggy energy that can be present, a little confusing and a little unclear. So yeah, set your vision, set your sight on your goals, manifest, set your intentions, but be mindful of the execution right now. Just make sure that before you pass go, that you have the green light. And that you're not just pushing through like a battle axe, which is the shadow side to Aries energy. You don't want to just ram through all the barriers and obstacles, because you may not like the result. There's something to be said about taking your time, using your time wisely. The energy is here. It's not going anywhere. The vision is here. It just might not be 100% clear with the Mars aspect to the new moon and also Mars and Neptune. And so again, this can pull in a restless and impatient energy that we want to watch out for. It's a lot of energy, but some of it can be restless and impatient. So just be mindful of being too impulsive. Now, while this new moon will be significant for everybody, it's going to be most significantly felt if you have strong cardinal energy, which is Aries especially, Cancer, Capricorn, or Libra, and especially if it's between 0 and 5 degrees of any of your points and or placements, which would be your sun, your moon, your rising sign most specifically. Also, if you are in the later degrees of the mutable signs, which are Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius. So if you've got any of your major points or placements between 27 and 29 degrees of those mutable signs, this new moon will be very strongly felt for you as well. Again, it is very strongly felt for everybody. It is a good new moon to work with for planting your intentions. Remember, it's the start of the Astrological New Year. So we really want to look ahead at what we want to bring in for ourselves. Think about the new year truly starting. 2023 is officially beginning right now with the entrance of Aries season and the new moon. This is a really energetic time. I want to stress that. What I also want to talk about is that we have 2 new moons in the sign of Aries, okay? 2 consecutive new moons in the sign of Aries. That's not very common. We do not always have this. But what makes this even more significant is that this new moon that we have on March 21st is at 0 degrees of Aries, the very beginning, okay? The second new moon that we're gonna have in Aries takes place on April 20th, and it's at the 29th degree of Aries. So it's at that anaretic degree, it's at the very last degree. So this new moon on March 21st is at the 0, it's at that very beginning. And the next new moon is not only a new moon, but it is a solar eclipse at the 29th degree of Aries, okay? Again, pay very close attention to what is coming up for you around these times in regards to your identity, your self-expression, because this is truly a new chapter of your story. So this time period, March 20th up until that next new moon in Aries on April 20th, it's going to be really significant in regards to the self, in regards to your personal life, your personal reality, your essence of who you truly are. Again, remember that good things take time, and you really want to tune into your vision of what it is that you want for yourself, how you see your life. There's a lot of chaos and craziness going on outside of us right now, so we have to take the focus inward. We have to, or else we will just spin out. So I want you to look at the entrance of Aries season and this new moon as a very powerful and potent time of healing and recognition of the self. And if you find that you're angry or frustrated, I encourage you to go inward and look at the trigger point of that, the root of that. Why are you frustrated? Why are you angry? Why are your patience running thin? Bring it back to self. Maybe you're letting a situation or a person in your life get the best of you. Maybe you're allowing someone or some things to walk all over you, to make you feel less than, to make you feel inadequate. Maybe you're not standing up for yourself where you need to, Aries. Maybe you're not owning your energy. Maybe you're not taking action and you're frustrated because of that. Try to get to the root of the frustrations. This is a really good time to do that digging. It will only serve to benefit you going forward. If you don't follow me on my socials, I encourage you to do that because a lot of times I will just post intuitively when I'm guided to do so, whenever and wherever I feel like it. So sometimes it's on TikTok, which is linked below. Salvatoris is my screen name. Sometimes it's on Instagram, which is Lisa A. Salvatore. Again, all of my socials are linked down in the description box. So be sure to follow me because I don't just post here. But yes, work with this Aries energy constructively. It is a good energy to work with. Even though there is so much else going on right now, this is good to work with on the personal level. Okay, then when we get to March 23rd, Pluto is going to enter the sign of Aquarius, okay? This is a big deal. I've talked about this many times. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. And Pluto has absolutely done a deconstruction to a reconstruction process for society as a whole, for the collective, but also for us personally, and especially if you are a cardinal sign, which is Aries, Capricorn especially, Cancer, and Libra. You've been getting steamrolled by Pluto. There have been tons of transformations and changes in your reality. I am sure of it. Some are probably for the best. Some probably haven't felt so good. Might even have been downright traumatic. Pluto will always deconstruct to reconstruct. Metaphorically, it's like dying to be reborn again and again and again. Now, with the entrance of Pluto into Aquarius, Think about the collective as a whole. A certain element, a certain component of that is dying for a new life to emerge, to be reborn. We may or may not like it all the time. If you think about what Aquarius represents, Aquarius is the future. Aquarius is technology, advancement. So yeah, there's a lot of that, but we may not like that all the time. But I also want to stress that Pluto's not done in Capricorn because of the orbit of Pluto. So here's how it works. March 23rd at 8:23 a.m. Eastern Time, Pluto is going to enter the sign of Aquarius, 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, let me back up. Pluto has been at the 29th degree of Capricorn since February 11th and will be at that 29th degree until March 23rd. When the planets are at that 29th degree, that anaretic degree, the energies of the planet, the properties of said planet are ramped up. And 9 times out of 10, we see the more shadow side to that planet. So let's think about everything that we have seen and heard going on across the world since February 11th that is still continuing today and is going on. That's Pluto at the 29th degree. There's a lot of destruction. There's a lot of things that are happening right now. Look at what just happened with the banks. Remember, Aquarius is the sign of digital. Aquarius is the sign of the future. We are going to be hearing a lot more in the coming months that we may or may not like. But this is all indicative of the growth of the collective, of the future. So yeah, Pluto's at the 29th degree, February 11th until March 23rd. Then Pluto is going to enter Aquarius on March 23rd. Think about this as like history and humanity slowly unraveling. There is a deconstruction process, but there's also a reconstruction process. It's like the caterpillar to the butterfly. The metamorphosis is real and it's very slow, but it's happening. And we're especially seeing this play out with the government, with hierarchies, with banking, big pharma, leadership, finances, a lot. So just so you understand the energy and the orbit of Pluto and how this will affect us, Pluto is going to be at 0 degrees of Aquarius from March 23rd until June 11th. So we will get a taste of what this Pluto in Aquarius era can be about, will be about. Pluto is going to be in Aquarius once he gets into Aquarius for good. Pluto will be in Aquarius until 2044, okay? So Pluto will be at that 0 degrees of Aquarius from March 23rd until June 11th. So we really want to pay attention to what's going on in that time frame. Then on June 11th, Pluto is going to retrograde back into the sign of Capricorn. So Pluto will not get past the 0 degree of Aquarius, okay? Then he will retrograde back into the sign of Capricorn. And then I want to stress that Pluto will be at that 29th, the anaretic degree again, from June 11th until July 27th. So from June 11th of this year until July 27th of this year, Pluto will be back at that 29th degree, the anaretic degree, ramped up. It will be really interesting to see what's going on out on the world stage. And then of course, also for you personally, you may see a continuation of a storyline. What are you trying to heal? What are you trying to go through? What are you trying to move through? What are you trying to grow and birth? And then Pluto will retrograde back to 27 degrees of Capricorn. So cardinal signs, Capricorn, Aries, Libra, Cancer, especially if you have placements between 27 and 29 degrees of those cardinal signs, you're still going to get Pluto passing back over. He's not totally done with you yet. I want to be clear about that. But you're getting there. You're so close to the finish line. So Pluto will get back to 27 degrees again while he's retrograde. And then October 10th or 11th, depending on what part of the world you are in, Pluto will then station direct in Capricorn and start to move forwards again. Now, I want to stress, again, from December 19th of 2023 until January 20th of 2024, Pluto will again be at that 29th degree of Capricorn. I want you to jot these dates down so that you are aware of when Pluto is at the 29th degree, especially as it pertains to the world, the collective, what we can see going on and what we will likely, most definitely see going on out there. A lot of intensity. So again, December 19th, Pluto gets back to that 29th degree of Capricorn. He's moving direct. He will be at that 29th degree until January 20th of 2024. Now, Pluto is only going to get as far as 2 degrees in 2024, and then he retrogrades back. So we have some time, but I just wanted to give you a clearer picture on the orbit of Pluto and the way that he works. And I wanted to give you a lot of emphasis on that 29th degree, on the time frames of the 29th degree. And I want you to be paying very close attention to what is going on in the world as it pertains to the collective, to all of us. especially when Pluto is at that 29th degree. So let me give you those dates one more time. Pluto's at the 29th degree, February 11th of 2023 until March 23rd of 2023. And then Pluto moves into Aquarius. Then June 11th, 2023 until July 27th, 2023, Pluto will be back at the 29th degree again. He will be retrograde. So he's going to be going back over some already gone over terrain, more than likely. And then in September of 2024, I know I'm projecting far out, but I want to just give you these dates. In September of 2024, September 1st, 2024, Pluto goes back to the 29th degree of Capricorn and will stay there until November 19th of 2024. So those are the time periods where Pluto will be back at the anaretic degree, the 29th degree of Capricorn. I know that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to Pluto and Pluto's orbit and how it functions in astrology. So I hope that that was helpful. And again, as you know, I will come back and always give you more updates on this energy, on this astrology. Okay, and one final thing that happens before we close out the month of March, and I have to say it's something that I am actually pretty happy about, is that Mars will finally leave the sign of Gemini. Mars has been in Gemini for the past 7 months. Mars has been in Gemini since August of last year. And the thing is, when Mars is in Gemini, see, Mars normally only spends about a month and a half in each sign, roughly 45-ish days Mars spends in each sign. But every 2 years, Mars will station retrograde. And when Mars stations retrograde, he can spend up to 7 months in one sign. And that is what he did with Gemini. And the thing about Mars in Gemini is that, you know, Gemini is a mutable air sign. It likes to be on the move. Mars likes to act and also be on the move. And furthering that, when Mars is in Gemini, he tends to ruminate on things. There's a lot of back and forth energy, ping pong, and we can feel stuck in the area of rumination, of non-action, of overthinking, overanalyzing, overstressing our systems. That's what Mars in Gemini can feel like, especially if you have strong Gemini. So Mars leaving the sign of Gemini and entering the sign of Cancer is going to be a welcome relief. But remember, as Mars is in these last degrees of Gemini, we are contending with a square to Neptune, which does bring in that feeling of suspicion, paranoia, exhaustion, mental fog. Could even be literal foggy weather that we see with Mars and Neptune. So if you are feeling a little stuck as we close out the month of March, just know that the way will clear again. And especially if you have strong Gemini, especially if you're a Gemini rising or Gemini sun or moon, you're gonna feel a sense of relief when Mars leaves Gemini. You're probably already feeling it. You're probably already feeling that your energy levels are on the upswing again and that you're beginning to move forward. Mars in Gemini has felt like walking through quicksand. It has not been fun, especially with the aspect to Neptune. Very confusing and destabilizing. But that's about to shift. And that is what we've got going on for the remainder of March. Holy cow, it is a lot. I did say that 2023 officially begins in the month of March, and I would stand to that. That is very, very true. Again, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you appreciate my content. It really helps me to grow my channel. Also sign up for my newsletter, lisasalvatore.com. And if you're interested on the transit of Saturn through Pisces, I have a workshop on March 28th. I've got the details for that linked below in the description box. You're definitely gonna wanna check that out. I'm probably gonna do a Pluto one as well. As always, take really good care of yourselves. Take really good care of each other. That is what we can do right now. We are all in this life together, and we are all watching history as it is being rewritten. Think about that. Take care. Bye.